What's the best way for RTD to pay off all the mystery boxes he set up since the 60th anniversary specials?
How about all of them right now, all at once?
Just how many mystery boxes are we talking about anyway?
3. Where does Ruby come from? Who is that woman who keeps showing up in all their adventures? And will the Doctor meet up with his granddaughter again?
And somehow, they're all connected.
Yeah, the way RTD connected everything felt very contrived. I mean, the Doctor barges into Unit to ask for help about that mysterious woman.
About that. Okay, I get that this season is super short.
It's actually the shortest season of Doctor Who ever.
Yep, and yet, there are adventures we didn't get to see. The Doctor lists a number of times he's seen that woman. He omits a few he didn't notice, but the audience did. Like, she was Isaac Newton's maid, she was a lunch lady in the 60s, she was a hiker in that timeline that never happened. But then he lists 3 more. She was apparently a slugma, a griffin, and a bleat. Yet we never got to see those adventures.
Oh, I would have loved to see those. They looked like they were proper scary.
You're not the only one. Would have rather seen those than space babies.
So they figure out that woman is connected to Susan Triad from Triad Technology, and Ruby says, "Oh look, it's the same first name. She must be your long-lost granddaughter." And everyone jumps on that like it's a possibility. As if Susan isn't a common name.
Yeah, I had a neighbor called Susan.
And I know a captain who's got a cat called Susan.
Exactly. And considering she's about to make a speech donating some unknown tech to the world in just a few hours from now.
Very Valentine from the Kingsman.
Yep, shouldn't that have been enough? Shouldn't the Doctor have said, "Okay, that's a lot to deal with and not much time. Let's focus on Ruby's backstory after we've dealt with the Susan character who may or may not be my granddaughter."
Except Ruby's backstory is linked to Susan Triad.
But no one knows that, not yet anyway. RTD just drags in his mystery boxes in what I thought was a very unsatisfying way.
But what came afterwards was pretty great, no?
Yes and no. The stuff in the time window was mostly great, well, aside from the soldier who we knew was going to get it.
Yeah, he kept telling Ruby how crucially important it was for her not to move. But you, expendable soldier, you go walking around and disappear behind the TARDIS. It'll be fine.
So yeah, apart from that, I thought the build-up of tension was excellent, as were the special effects. It's just that it didn't really resolve anything. We just got mysteries on top of other mysteries.
Anyone thought it interesting the CCTV footage taken on the day Ruby was abandoned was from 66 meters away?
You mean it's like 73 yards away?
Yeah, I noticed that too. Although nothing was made of that, at least not yet.
What if the woman is actually Ruby herself?
Stranger things have happened.
It would link back to the 73-yard episode somehow.
Well, I didn't get why the Doctor was so obsessed with Susan. Surely he should have realized the moment he laid eyes on her if she was a Time Lord or not.
Not if she disguised her biology with one of those fob watches.
And then when something was very clearly wrong with the TARDIS, why didn't he not go back to Unit? Why stay with Susan?
To be honest, it felt like RTD was moving his characters into positions he needed them to be in for the next episode, whether it made sense or not at that particular moment in time.
And then, why didn't the Doctor do anything when Susan was so clearly getting distressed during the presentation, especially after that other voice started talking?
It's true, character motivations for everyone felt off, but the rise in tension as the ultimate reveal was made was pretty effective, and with that, enter Sutekh.
Who?
From Egyptian mythology? I bet a lot of viewers were confused by that reveal.
I disagree. They did a good job linking him to the Toymaker and the Maestro. No past knowledge necessary.
And even if they were confused or wanted to know more, that's what we've got the internet, McClock.
Sutekh is a natural Egyptian god, also known as Set or Seth. He's a god of many things, including disorder, storms, and violence. But all Doctor Who fans will also know him from Pyramids of Mars, the 4th Doctor episode in which he defeated Sutekh, who tried to escape from his eternal prison with the intention of destroying all life.
He was going to bring the gift of death to everyone.
That's what the possessed Sue Triad said.
And now he's back.
Yes, he is. And you know what's cool? He's voiced by the same actor, Gabriel Wolfe, who voiced him back in 1975. But do you know what's even cooler?
What?
He also voiced the Beast in the horror 2-parter The Impossible Planet and The Satan Pit.
Didn't Carla refer to that swirling cloud in the time window room as the Beast?
Exactly. RTD might be linking the story from 1975 with the one from 2006 and now this cliffhanger.
Talk about playing the long game.
Hang on. Wolf's casting in that 2006 two-parter was not intentional. It says here the producers initially wanted Chris Evans to voice the Beast.
Never let an accidental casting 18 years ago get in the way of creating a major plot point today. Well, possibly, if they go in that direction.
The one thing I'm not sure I like is that the Doctor feels completely lost and overrun by the events around him, and in fact, it's not the first time this season he hasn't actually saved the day.
We're in the middle of a two-part story, McClock. You can't expect the Doctor to save the day at this stage.
True, but I think the groundwork has been done to make Ruby the hero of the season's finale. Like, I'm pretty sure she was born to defeat Sutekh somehow, but now hear me out. In The Devil's Court, John Lennon and Paul McCartney saved the day. In Boom, the AI representation of the Dad saved the day. In 73 Yards, well, he wasn't even there. In Dot and Bobble, he couldn't save anyone. In Rogue, it was Rogue who sacrificed himself because the Doctor couldn't bear to lose Ruby. It's like the Doctor is not the hero of his own stories.
He did save the day with space babies.
In the actual worst story ever written, yes. So that's once, this entire season. Not a good track record if you ask me. I didn't like the anagram that wasn't an anagram. S-Triad being the TARDIS, cool, easy and obvious. That's a proper anagram. But turning Susan Triad technology into Sutekh, well, that's not an anagram, folks. That's a shortening, at best.
For myself, the whole story felt more like a Sarah Jane adventure than a Doctor Who one. You did HQ with that weird robot being, and now that Kid Genius really feels like a kid show. But on the plus side, the rise in tension from the moment the time window opens to the end was great and pretty scary. Hey, Gigi? Gigi?
Anyone notice that none of the mystery boxes have actually been opened? They've all been placed on the board and everything is happening around them, but we still don't know how they're connected.
That's right, and Mrs. Flood, Ruby's neighbors, is on it too. Although we don't know exactly how.
That's actually a fourth mystery box. What if she's the Doctor's granddaughter?
What? How?
Well, think about it. She knows what the TARDIS is, and she said in this episode, "I'm always hiding myself away." And the Doctor said to Ruby that Time Lords sometimes change their faces to hide themselves away. Can't be a coincidence.
Either that, or she could be another Time Lord like Romana or the Rani.
All characters we haven't seen since before the 2005 revival. But since Sutekh's back, anything's possible.
Nothing's stopping her from being the Master, by the way.
I hope not. It would be good if we encountered a different Time Lord, truth be told.
Speaking of other Time Lords, I'd like to know where the 14th Doctor is. You can't have Sutekh coming back without it being an all-hands-on-deck situation.
Allons-y!
Think you'll be disappointed on that front. Or, at least, I hope he won't turn up. Would seriously undermine 15. Yeah, it's like a Marvel movie where you think, this could have been solved so much more quickly had Iron Man or Thor or the Hulk or anyone that isn't actually in the cast been part of the story.
You know what would be fun? You know how Donna always seemed to miss the big events, the big invasions, that sort of thing? Well, what if now that 14's hanging out with her all the time, it's happening to him too, which is why he'll miss all of this.
That would be hilarious.
There are just so many questions left hanging, so many mysteries unanswered to know how this will end. Which makes for a great cliffhanger, don't get me wrong.
Like, if Sutekh was already part of the TARDIS, why did he need Sue Triad for? And how did he get himself into the TARDIS in the first place?
And why did Sue have all these dreams which were actually the Doctor's adventures?
And what's the deal with Mrs. Flood? And who's Ruby's mother? And does Carla know more than she lets on? And just where is Susan, the Doctor's granddaughter?
The ending was excellent and scary enough for a family show. Like all cliffhangers, it'll succeed or fail solely on what will happen next and how all of this will be resolved. It's just a shame it felt like this was an entire episode merely designed to get to this point. Character motivation be damned.
Yeah, about that. Why did the Doctor tell Ruby to go back into the time window at the end?
My point exactly. Place the characters where you need them to be for part 2, whether it makes sense or not. Hey, Gigi? Gigi?